here we are. Facebook. No Facebook. YouTube and Instagram. I've been using this app to connect both platforms. For some, like 2 platforms to stream at the same time. For some reason, they've stopped. And I have to look into it because, yeah. Anyway, I am here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We gotta go. We are busy, enjoying life, and being beautiful. It's lovely, I love it. Anyway, what we're doing now, right. Today's a Monday, again. Monday reset, we are resetting. We are connecting with ourselves. We're making sure that we're starting the week right. As I said at the beginning, most of you guys had a beautiful weekend. So I am glad to see, checking out on social media, people have been having a wonderful time. So now it's time to chill and get to work. Right? Get to work. No more playing. You guys played enough. Let's get to work and talk about some stuff that will improve on our lives, how to be better, to be more, to achieve the things that we've been wanting to achieve, but haven't been disciplined enough and not really working on ourselves enough. So today, what I want to dig into, and it's something that all of us parents should do, especially if you've got girls. So we are giving girls or empowering them with skills, leadership skills, right? Self-leadership is so important. And when you're teaching it to somebody at a very, very young age, like we are now talking to them, it's so important that we get to shift their mindsets, because most of us, what we tend to do, we tend to cry about things, what the kids are doing, but we don't have a solution for it. We don't try and find a solution, like how can I make things different? How can it be different, right? It's hard work. It's hard work. There's no question about that. But when we want our kids to be better, it starts with us giving them those self-leadership on self-leadership, to know how to lead themselves, to improve on their lives, to be better, right? And for them to understand what leadership is. So if anybody doesn't understand anything and not being taught, you will never know and you will never get it right, because it's always just touch and go kind of thing, that you're just second guessing what you're doing. And that's how most of us don't get it right, or it takes us a bit longer in life to get things right, because although we're being told, you can, like especially in our tribe, you have to be a certain person, you have to behave a certain way. But for me, how I see it, at some point, we weren't told self-leadership. Yes, some of the things, it's when you look at it now, it is that. But self-leadership is so important, because it's as a leader, you are an influencer. You are influencing people around you. And if you're a good leader, and if your girl is a good leader, she will have a group of other young women who are going to grow, who are going to be better. So, hey, hello, young man, hello, welcome. So you're going to teach her to be a good leader, to be a good influencer. And because you are giving them true value, you have to have values of some sort, value to yourself, believing in yourself, and it takes a lot of hard work. Now, when I'm saying young girls, I'm talking, let's say, around about the age of 10, 11, 12, to like you leading that way. You're leading that way for them to understand themselves a little bit better. So when they come into like being a proper teenagers, they will have their mind set right, because that way they will get to be more and much better influence. Sorry, there's a message coming in. He's just disturbing my pace. They will be much more better in doing things that they will have to do, because in later in life they won't be struggling with controlling themselves. It's about them controlling themselves and not controlling others, them understanding how things work, them being able to just see things clearly. And because when you are leading yourself right, it always trickles down to your money. Because when you get yourself right, you understand who you are, you will have so much influence on your money. You will get your money so right. So that's why self-leadership is so important, because you got to lead, you got to learn how to lead yourself. Because most of us, we don't really know who we are, right? We don't know what we want. We don't know where we're going. We are just sort of kind of going with the flow. So you got to set goals. So we got to teach them to set personal goals and educational goals. What is it that they want to achieve? What is personal goals? When you start them young, they will get it right. Yes, some people might fall off the wagon, but most of them, they will get it right. Right? So you're teaching them to have that understanding of, okay, I got to set goals. What are goals? I got to set goals on a personal level. What is it that I want to achieve on a personal level? And academically, what is it that I want to achieve? So that way, we're structuring them. We're building, right, a nation of strong young girls and boys, right? But my focus today, it's on young girls, although I don't have girls, right? But I've got girls. And then be accountable. You're teaching them how to be accountable. How are you going to be accountable as a person? How are you going to hold yourself accountable to your actions? Because what we do, I mean, you get to see it even now in some people, that they run away from themselves, like they run away from holding themselves that, okay, I put my hand up, I did that wrong. Some people run away from that. So you're holding them, teaching them how to be accountable. And that is a very, very important thing for someone to know, that if you are wrong into something, you have to be held accountable. So I have to hold myself accountable. It is very, very important. And then emotions, God, I think that's a big one for me. We humans, we are so much emotional beings that everything that we're doing, we lead with emotions. We are not logic about it. Let's say, okay, I gotta be logical. I gotta think differently. I have to be different. I cannot let my emotions lead the way, because when you're being emotional, you're not thinking straight at all. You are not thinking straight. You are letting your emotions lead and making those decisions for you. You're just not being straight at all. So that's one thing that we got to teach them. Hello, Mr. Mopia. We got to teach them how to be like, don't be so emotional, be rational. Don't be so emotional, be rational. Don't be so emotional, because if you're letting your emotions lead the way, you're going to lose every single time. Every single time, because you're not thinking straight. And then self-motivation. How do you motivate yourself when you don't want to get up? When you don't want to do anything, right? When we start them young, by the time they are older, they will be able to get it right. They will be able to think straight. They will be able to do things a little bit differently to how we are doing it now. Because it's all about that control. That's what leadership is. It's just you getting things right, you thinking straight. Because my sister has girls, right? She's got 2 girls. So one of them, my daughters, I say to her, she didn't really want to become an illustrator. And I said to her, you got to join. You learn to have better leadership skills, right? You got to just join. And now she's doing amazingly, because she has more focus. She is more disciplined in herself. She is so focused in what she's doing. She doesn't have time for any other riffraff, because she is focusing, right, on what she has to do, on how to learn to lead herself, how to like control herself, how to be a better person. So that's why, I mean, we had a conversation about her being a leader. Like, that's why it's so important that we all have to teach our girls. You gotta learn to be a leader. You gotta stop wanting to blame other people and let them, be responsible for your actions. As I said, that is one thing that we do, and we do it right, that we don't want to own up any responsibility to anything that we're doing, because we're always quick to point fingers at other people, and we do it so well. We do it so well. So if we start them early, it's better. Now, the growth mindset. I don't know how many times we've spoken about that, because that's a difficult one, on telling someone to believe in themselves, like you can do anything. If you put effort into it, you can do it. Because we as adults now, we weren't taught, we weren't being encouraged. We might say, right? And we might blame and point the fingers that I'm just saying. But so it took us a little bit longer to achieve. It took us a little bit longer to actually really even understand ourselves. So if you give someone a growth mindset, teaching them how to have the growth mindset, and especially when it comes to money, how to learn to compound and grow money instead of just spending. Because these kids these days, because they get more than we did, right? So all they want to do is spend the money that they have. So what I want you guys to go and tell, or ask you girls to do, is to write down 3 personal goals on a list, right, with small daily actions that they're going to take to achieve them. 3 personal goals that they're going to do that will lead to them, like what actions, small actions that they're going to take on a daily basis for them to achieve these 3 goals. Could be anything and everything, anything, what they actually really want. So, and that's a very good time for you guys to bond with these little girls, to bond with them, so that they get to develop, to actually really know that there is more to them. They're growing into being fine young women. It's just not about dad this, dad that, being at home, like just on the phones all the time. You have to learn to, everything that you're doing, you have to learn to put more effort into yourself. You have to learn to put more work into yourself, because you got to pour in yourself to put out to the world. So whatever you're putting in, it comes out in the way you think, in the way you're doing things. It speaks volume. You might say, okay, it doesn't matter, nobody's watching, but it's like having a simple conversation with somebody. A person, it's going to read you instantly. It's like, oh, I can see how how you think. I can almost guarantee you what kind of a person you are by the way you are having a conversation with me, the way you are communicating with me. It's telling me something about you. And if you want someone, a young lady who's been put together, brought up well, taught how to think, who to be accountable for your actions, be a good leader, know how to communicate, know how to understand you, know who you are, because that's where the question comes in. Who are you? And we don't know how to answer that question, right? It's down to self-leadership. If you don't know how to lead, you almost don't know who you are. You just don't know who you are. And that is really hard for us adults, so let alone a child. So that's why teaching them self-leadership at a very young age is so important for them to develop into beautiful older adults, and they just get to be better than we are now, because that's what we want, right? What we want is for our children to be better than us, for our children to achieve more than us. It's giving them personal leadership skills. We got to teach them. They need to become better communicators. How do you communicate? You can learn that online from most people who give classes. You can learn from that, or they can watch on YouTube how to become a better communicator, because you are building, right? You're forming this person, this child, to think differently. So what you're doing is they gotta learn how to communicate. You have to have communication skills. You have to know how to lean into a conversation, when to back off, not to talk over somebody, just be a good listener. All these things plays a role. And I still do have that bad habit of just jumping in when somebody's talking, and I just jump in and just do not let them finish what they're saying. And that's a terrible, terrible thing, especially when someone is trying to convey something really important that they want to talk about. You just jumping in, keep interrupting them, which sometimes it comes across as being rude, but you might not mean that, but it comes across as that. So for us, it's important to teach them to make sure that they know how to communicate, not just talk. No. And then learn how to make decisions. How are you going to make better decisions? What are you going to base your decisions on? Your values, your beliefs? What are you going to believe? How? It doesn't matter. Going out with your friends, staying at home reading, watching a movie, or how are you going to make your decisions? So it's these things, we do take them for granted, but they are skills that we all, even as adults, that we all have to have, right? Because sometimes you make a decision of saying, I can't be bothered. I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. Boy, oh boy, are you missing out on yourself? Of course you are missing out on yourself. Big time. Absolutely big time. It's decisions, right? Making decisions. Teaching them how to be confident. How do you come across as confident? How can people show you respect for who you are? How can people really show you the respect that you deserve? Because we all want to be respected. I wanted to have a cup of tea, but I'm hot now. We all want to be given some sort of respect, right? But if you are not showing that you respect yourself enough, you don't have those leaderships, because you don't know how to lead yourself. Just anybody that comes your way, you are just almost trying to please them. The people don't have that little bit of fear of saying, okay, with this person, I can't do this. With this person, I can't behave this way because this and that will happen. Right? How? Confidence. It's not about being rude. It's about you having to communicate what you want without holding back and or having a fear of saying, oh, I'm trying to upset somebody. No. Sometimes you have to speak your mind, speak your truth. What do you want? If you don't have the confidence to, you are afraid that you're going to upset somebody while you are being upset, you're not helping you. You're not helping you at all. Because you have to have boundaries with people. People need to learn how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you. Right? You got to have boundaries. Because people will push. Now, with a young girl that you're teaching them, like, don't let your friends bully you. Do not let them bully you. They are learning how to have boundaries. What sort of boundaries do they need to put in place? How can they be that important, confident young woman? How do they get to be that? Problem solving. If you've got a problem in front of you, how do you approach the problem? How do you solve it? How do you deal with it? Because with every problem that you get in your life, there is a solution. Every problem, there is a solution. And now, when you're teaching them, instead of drowning into the problem and crying out about it, what solutions are you going to look to diffuse this whole thing, to solve the problems that are in front of you? It's a critical thing to have for them to learn how to think. How are you going to deal with this? How? Again, it's those skills that we're not being told. We're not being told how to deal with this. With such things that are so important, we take them for granted and we just don't see the point even. Because again, we only teach our children what we were taught as young women or men for that matter. What you were told as a young person, that's what you teach your kids. Right? Because we all go by what we know. Years along the way, we change because you're meeting a whole lot of different people. How do you do that? But mostly, we pour out what's inside us and pour it onto them. Now, that's a good and a bad thing. Because what we tend to do, we pass on our bad habits, we pass it on to them. So that's why we're having this conversation today, for you to even change your way of thinking, for you to teach them these leadership skills. Because then what mistakes and things that you didn't do right, you're not pouring into them because you have done your research, you are sitting down, you guys are planning things out now. Because some of us to this day, we're still struggling and fighting, struggling with life, we're fighting. So the earlier, the better when you start with them. Pour all the goodness into them. Pour all the goodness, because we are all struggling with kids. Kids these days. That's what our parents said to us, right? But were they pouring into us? I doubt. Were they teaching us how to be leaders? No. I should say most of us, no. Because the minute you do something wrong, that's when you used to hear from your mom or dad saying, oh, you, this child. But having that, like, we are much more open. I mean, I had a great relationship with my parents, don't get me wrong. But how we are now, we are much more open with our kids than our parents were, right? You get to sit down and do a little bit of back and forth conversation with your kids. So it's very important for you to have those talks about leadership. Like, I think it's a really, really, really good thing that you need to have with them. I really think so. And they have to have leadership, like, on a daily basis. How are they going to lead themselves? A simple thing is when you've got 2, 3 or whatever, how are they going, the older ones, how are they going to help the younger siblings? That's leading, right? They learn it. It's a way of taking up responsibility. Okay, I'm holding myself accountable and responsible for helping my siblings on whatever they don't understand. Yeah? And then standing out or standing up for fairness and kindness. You're teaching. Oh, my sister. I don't know how she gets it wrong every time. She did this last week. Being a volunteer. How? It's simple. Because I've been teaching some of my kids here saying, be a volunteer. Give. It's not about being given, taking from other people. Let me put this on mute. Taking from other people, you'll be given all the time. You gotta learn how to give. You gotta learn how to be charitable. You've got so much stuff around you. But you cannot just want to take and not give. It doesn't work like that. Even at home, washing up dishes, you are helping out. You're being responsible. But what we tend to do, we do everything for the kids. And then we expect them to flourish and shine and be this. How? If you're not teaching them to be responsible, if you're not teaching them to be better, like being responsible, like this leadership thing that we're talking about, if you're not teaching them that, how are you expecting them to be any different? Because we think, or some people feel guilty that they gotta do everything for the kids. It's being a good parent. No, honey, you are killing the kids. I mean, that's my personal opinion. That's how I feel. You're killing the kids. Do not let them have the responsibility of doing something, knowing, okay, whatever day when this bin is full, it's my responsibility to empty the bin. I have juice. I'm washing up my glass. It's my responsibility. How are we going to build a nation of leaders who knows how to lead themselves if we're not creating them? We have to mold them, right? We have to mold them now. You know, when you were young, you were being told how to look after yourself. Some people were sent to boarding school at the age of 5. But yet, I guess maybe some people feel, I'm not going to do that to my kids. I'm going to be there. So you do everything. And in the meantime, you are killing the poor cougars. You're killing them. You're killing them. How? You are killing them. And one other thing that we need to teach them is being role models to their friends. How are they being, how are they leading their groups? Are they invested in their groups? Are they among good people that they have to be around? Or are they just being followers because they're being led by a group of people who are just sort of destroying their lives? Are they? I'm going to read a poem here. Maybe you guys can read it out to them. It's quite long, but I'll just read half of it. The light within. The world may whisper or tell you to wait. Follow the crowd, accept your fate. This is the thing that we've been told every day. Just shh, keep it down. Don't make a noise. Don't let people hear you. You don't want to stand out. That's a bad thing. Just fit in with everybody. But leaders rise, not by command. They forge their path. They take a stand. So all the leaders that we love and respect, they had to stand out. They had to stand out and didn't fit into the crowd with everybody else. And if we want to have kids that are going to stand out, it starts now. It's our responsibility, truly, it's our responsibility to do that. Not with a throne or nor with a crown, but in the silence, deep and sound, where choices come, a form, where thoughts take flight. It's in silence. It's when nobody is watching? What are you doing when there's nobody there? How are we going to teach these kids? Like, I might be here telling you to wash the dishes, I might be here telling you how to read, but when I'm not around, how are you leading yourself without me standing here in front of you, telling you what to do, guiding you? If I'm not there, how are you leading yourself? The works, it's done in the silence to come to the public. It's done in silence. And how are you doing that? Where was I? Where choices form. Okay, right. Where courage sparks the inner light. A leader's first trust test. It's not the world. It is the self. It's you. It starts with you. How are you leading you? It all starts with you. So it's so important for us to teach our kids to be self-leaders. Lead yourself, not by being bossy, not by hating other people, but to understand you, to be centered, to lead your life. It's leading yourself, having the discipline, doing the things that are necessary, that are going to change you, that are going to mold you into this young, beautiful person that you want to be. It starts with that. So I'll say, parents, it's our job, it's our responsibility to make sure that we're molding these kids right. Absolutely, it's our responsibility. Do not feel sorry. They might cry. Do not feel sorry and stop halfway. You're not doing a bad thing. All you are doing is molding what you've missed out on, some of the things that you would have wanted to do and you didn't do. It's important. It's important because these kids are at school most of the time. We're not with them, or some of us, we're not with them at all. So whenever you're having a conversation, it's important that you mold them as much as possible into what you think and hope that they will be. Instead of just sitting on the sideline and hope, no, we have to put in the work. So it starts with self-leadership. Please do share this while we are live now and talk to other people. Tell them that we have to work on leading these kids. We cannot just shout when they do something wrong and say, these kids. We have the job of molding them. It's our responsibility. Now, because I said at the beginning, I was using an app that I was using. It was free to stream live on YouTube and on Facebook at the same time. Now they want me to pay, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't ready for that. So I'll have to jump on Facebook and do a live there separately. But at the moment, I'm just live on Insta and YouTube. But it was really handy to have like the two apps at the same time. Just do it at once and for all. So what I want us to jump to now is talk about dividends. We're going to talk a little bit about money. Yeah. As we know, these tariffs, they are here to kill us. But how are we going to add a little bit to our pockets? I am not a stock trader. I don't trade stocks, but dividends, it's to do with that. You have to find a company that will pay you dividends, right? How that works, you have to do the research in understanding. So I just want to lay out the path of saying, guys, there is companies that pays out some money just because you bought some shares and you've kept them for whatever period. Like, they will give you something for you for being part of, like, buying into the company. Now, how much it is, it depends on how big the company is and how much the shares are. It depends on a lot of stuff, how good the company is doing as well. That's why they get to pay dividends. Some companies don't, although they like really big companies, they don't. And now when you're buying these dividends, when you're buying stocks or shares of certain companies that pays out dividends, Now, do you want to be paid on a monthly basis, quarterly, yearly? What do you want, right? Because that plays a big role when it comes to for you to paying tax. How are you going to make sure that you look after that? And how, like, it depends on the shares of a company that you've bought. For you, that's the amount of money that you get, right? You get according to what you have in your basket. Now, you cannot expect buying one share, 2, or even 10 and expect a whole lot of money. Nah. No. You have to have quite a lot. Again, depending on what a price is selling the shares, for you to get quite a good amount of money, right? You have to buy quite a lot. And now, some shares are cheap, some are quite expensive. Again, it depends on the quality of the company and which sectors that you are buying from. So when you're going out there to do your research, do researches of a company. Now, some companies do put the money back into, like, they reinvest money into the business so they don't pay out. But for us, because we are like trying to work on our portfolio, we're building, we're stretching, we're finding ways of making money, growing our pockets more than just from the job. So you are not going to stress out about this at all. Okay, you are not going to stress out about this at all, saying, okay, I'm making money from this, no. All you are doing is just putting money in the pot, knowing, okay, I'm buying shares from this company and this is the kind of money that I'm going to get paid. Like just you do your whole homework, knowing. So how can you have money coming in from different directions? That's what we're doing. We're creating and we're building a portfolio. So we're getting money from work. We are buying stocks or shares, right? Or you're going to be a trader, forex or stocks, which you're going for. And all of these things, you have to put in a lot of work to understand what you're doing. Do not put in a single penny until you know. But I'll say, I'm not a forex, not a financial advisor, but what I would say, you can buy ETFs, because it's not a particular company, right? You can put some money in the ETFs. That way, it grows, right? Some ETFs, it grows. Money is growing while you're really trying to figure out who is who, which company. So Trading 212, that's a platform that I use. I'll say use that, right? If you can, and just put whatever, as much as you can. And with ETFs, you don't have to overthink. You don't have to pull your hair out. It's easier because it's a big umbrella of companies that is being put under S&P 500. It's one of those things, like you put your money in and it grows, because the stock lately, it's going up because the dollar is losing value. So it's money that the stocks, they're going up at the moment. They're really doing very well. It doesn't matter when you're starting. It doesn't matter with how much money you're starting with. But the main thing is for you to start. Start now and grow your money. Small. So if you're buying ETFs, salary, you're buying ETFs, so that you can understand, you bought maybe a bit of silver, a bit of gold. Maybe you started a business. Now you've got almost, so silver and gold, we're not going to count, that's not liquid money that's going to come in. So let's say you've got 3 things that are bringing money in. Or you in real estate, right? Those are like 3 or 4 different money that are coming in. Work, it's your main source of income that's bringing in the money for you to divide the money into all the other things. Yeah? So you cutting out on all the unnecessary stuff. You don't need Netflix, you don't need Sky, you don't need Prime, you don't need any of these things until you get your money right. So some of these things you can cut out and say, okay, instead of me paying £20 to having Sky because I want to watch football at home, I'll cut that out. I'll probably go and watch football at the pub and put that £20 every month into my ETF. Right? So there you have started. You get maybe whatever, depending how much they're paying out. It depends, because your money is going to grow. Now, the lesser you're putting in, that's the results going to come out. The more you're putting in, the more you will get out of it. So do not put in less and expect things. No, please, you got to be realistic about it. So those different things. Now again, you started with £20. Before you know it, okay, you cutting something else. Because now when you're seeing, so the joy of it is when you're seeing your money growing. It's like, oh, I had £30, so now I've got 35. Oh, I've got 40, and I didn't do anything. Oh my God, it's an amazing feeling. You feel really, really good because you can see your money growing. It's working for you without you doing anything. So buying companies that are paying out dividends is important, but not all companies that paying out dividends are good. So you got to do your homework and understand, because some companies are just doing good because they are on their almost last knees, but they're giving out money because they want you guys, like your money is just keeping them afloat. You got to understand the companies. First and foremost, you got to understand the companies that you're putting your money, because you might put your money in, and then in the next 2-3 months, the company is gone. It's gone bankrupt. There goes your money. So that's why I'll say start with ETFs. It's easier while you doing research with everything else. It's easier because that's what I've done. That's what I'm doing. Didn't understand much. Hardly still understand. I do to a degree better than I did, but I hardly do much. Let those whatever pennies flow in because of the time that I've put in. Right? So that's all you need to do. So that's why the rich people, they're getting money from all different sorts of things. Guys, we are sleeping on so much that we are missing out on so much. We got to wake up. Because we know these tariffs are killing us. Especially as women, because we like so much. We like buying this, doing that, dressing here, changing this week, buying this makeup, shoes, handbags. It's killing us. And we are not paying attention. All we want to do is just to look good. And spend, making other people rich, while we're getting poorer and poorer. So just make those little choices to change, just do that. I don't know, well, if you're in Africa, I don't know which brokers that you can use for you to have stocks and just, I don't know if trading 212 might work over there. I don't know. I haven't done my research enough for that because it's not something that I actually really do and pay much attention. But as I said, I just know about enough to know that I will get something out of it. As long as I'm not wanting to pull out, let it grow. Let the money grow. That's the plan. We're compounding. Putting in £2, £3, because you know the thing is trading 212, they let you start with £1. That's how low it is. £1. And you telling me you don't have £1? I spent £30 today shopping. Just buying some few bits in the house. And you telling me you don't have £1 just to start on your investing plan until you can sort of improve on that, add more money to what you're doing. Start an ETF account, start a small business if you want, if that's your thing. There are so many ways for us to make money. We just need to stop slipping. We just need to stop slipping and leaving it to other people. You guys are all geniuses. We just have to find the belief within to make sure that you can. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next week. I'm hoping so, because I'll be somewhere. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I will try and figure out something. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys being here with me, spending time. Let me do the talk. Not that I know the best, but I just love being here with you guys. I love bringing. Let's change. We can change one step at a time. All of us, we can change our thinking. We can all do that. It's down to if we want to or not. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week. So on that note, I'll say good night, and do not chase money. Please go and find your purpose, because money will definitely come if you get it right to do these changes. No, go and chase your purpose and not the money. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.